Yes, you heard that right. Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor, who once strutted through Dolton like it was her personal kingdom, is now one step away from swapping her luxury wardrobe for an orange jumpsuit. A Cook County judge has officially run out of patience with her endless excuses, and the order couldn't be clearer. Show up to court this Friday in person or face contempt. No more stalling. No more hiding. No more slick talk. If she doesn't walk through those courtroom doors, the next steps involve handcuffs, mugshots, and a jail cell. No pass and go. No collecting $200. She's not the mayor anymore. She's not the township supervisor anymore. Her official power? Gone. But the chaos she left behind? Still echoing through Dolton and Thornton like aftershocks from an earthquake. Even stripped of titles, Henyard clings to the persona she built. Half political celebrity, half untouchable queen. But inside a courtroom, none of that matters. Swagger doesn't win over judges. Glamour doesn't erase subpoenas. It's about facts, law, and compliance. And on all three fronts, Henyard is striking out. The glitter is gone, and now the stakes are brutally real. At the heart of this showdown is her flat-out refusal to release public records, documents she is legally required to turn over under Illinois transparency laws. For months, she's ducked, dodged, and flat-out ignored the demands. The judge? Out of patience. Fines are already stacking up at $1,000 a day until she complies. And now, this order feels like the final line in the sand. Comply or face hard consequences. This isn't about some lost paperwork. This is about challenging the court's authority, and judges don't take kindly to being tested. This Friday, there's no loophole left, no Zoom logins, no webcam appearances from the comfort of home, no hiding behind a laptop screen. The order is crystal clear. Tiffany Henyard must appear in person, stand before the judge, and face the music. If she refuses, physical contempt. That means real jail time, locked doors, concrete walls, cold steel bars. And let's be clear, this moment isn't about one petty case. It's about years of frustration, mountains of evidence, and a long trail of arrogance, waste, and retaliation that defined her entire reign. Her last hearing made things even worse. Henyard dialed in remotely and tried to wash her hands of responsibility, claiming she was just the face of the village, not the one responsible for records. That same tired excuse she's rolled out before. But this time, the judge wasn't having it. The tone shifted. The patience evaporated. And suddenly, the warnings turned into threats of direct action. You could feel the courtroom walls closing in. And make no mistake, the records she's guarding aren't some dusty file folders. They're the smoking gun to her time and power. Credit card bills, travel receipts, suspicious purchases that watchdogs have been chasing for months. Journalists and accountability groups file FOIA requests, only to be stonewalled. And even now, without her name on the office door, Henyard still refuses to open the books. That defiance hasn't just raised eyebrows. It's lit a fire under taxpayers demanding justice. When reporters press her about those taxpayer-funded Vegas trips, she didn't apologize. She smirked. One asked point blank, "Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?" Her response? Any other questions? That smug dismissal stuck like a knife. And so did the receipts, showing money blown at upscale spots like Cafe Hollywood and hot and juicy crawfish. Just steps off the strip. Those aren't business expenses. Those are vacation splurges, funded by Dolton residents who can barely afford their water bills. And yet, Henyard still insists she had nothing to do with the spending. But the paper trail tells a different story. Her allies' names keep popping up alongside hers on travel records, expense sheets, and payout logs. And buried within it all is a pattern. Money moving, explanations missing. Time after time, the numbers don't add up, and she shrugs it off like it's all smoke and mirrors point one of the most jaw-dropping examples. A Chevy Tahoe lease that should have maxed out at around $93,000. Instead, under a deal Henyard personally signed, the cost exploded to nearly $150,000. Over $55,000 in unnecessary fees, and interest stacked on top. When trustees confronted her about it, she flat out denied involvement. But the smoking gun was sitting in plain sight, her own signature, bold and undeniable, printed right there on the contract. And she didn't stop there. Henyard went even further, building herself a taxpayer-funded personal security army, draining public money while officers racked up overtime that defied reality. One case stood out above the rest. Officer Terry Young, who somehow logged 303 hours in just 2 weeks. Do the math. That left with about an hour and a half each day to sleep, eat, shower, and breathe. And his reward? A jaw-dropping $13,000 paycheck. Not from his own hustle, not from his own pocket, but directly from Dolton taxpayers who never signed up to bankroll Henyard's personal bodyguard fantasy. Through every scandal, Henyard's playbook has been painfully predictable. Shift the blame, dodge the questions, and turn the spotlight back on her critics. She's called her own staff incompetent. She's accused reporters of running smear campaigns. She's even thrown shade at judges, claiming they're targeting her out of spite. And when all else fails, she reaches for her favorite shield. Y'all sitting up here attacking a strong black woman. Now, let's be real, black women in leadership do face unfair scrutiny. But this isn't about race. This isn't about gender. These allegations are about misuse of public money, abuse of power, and flat-out defiance of the law. One group in particular has refused to let up: the Edgar County Watchdogs. From day one, they've been on her trail, filing FOIA requests, tracking expenses, and shining a spotlight on every shady move. They fired off their first request way back in January 2024, demanding transparency. By June, Henyard was still stonewalling, still hiding records that legally had to be released. The judge's patience? Gone, which makes this Friday's hearing all the more explosive. If Henyard skips out again or keeps blocking those documents, contempt charges will be inevitable. The daily fines will keep stacking up, and the maybe of jail time will turn into an almost certain reality. But remember, this isn't just one courtroom battle. It's one skirmish in a much larger war. Because while this judge fights to pry open Henyard's records, the FBI is still circling. The Illinois Attorney General is still circling. And new charges could be waiting just around the corner. Dolton may have a new mayor, Jason House, who's trying to stabilize the chaos, but the shadow Henyard left behind, financially, politically, culturally, is long, dark, and heavy. It touches every single move the village makes. And as if things weren't surreal enough, Dolton is suddenly in the headlines for something even stranger. An attempt to seize a child at home of newly elected Pope Leo I, the first American pope, who, believe it or not, was born right here in Dolton. Against that bizarre backdrop, the question becomes sharper than ever. Is Tiffany Henyard finally going to face the full weight of the law? Will she be dragged into court, fined until her bank accounts are dry, even locked behind bars? Or will she somehow slip through the cracks again, twisting the narrative, pointing fingers, and playing escape artist one more time? So now it's your call. Do you believe this is the moment Tiffany Henyard finally gets held accountable? Or is this just another chapter in her long-running scam? Another act in the escape act that never seems to end? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you think stories like this matter, smash that like button, share this video with everyone you know, and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Because Friday's court showdown, it could be the day everything changes. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.